Good day, friends. My name is Dr. Jade and I want to welcome you back to the Health Rethink channel. I have received so many questions about managing pain, and over people will explain that they have had some kind of injury or recovering from an operation, for instance, various kinds of surgery, various kinds of injuries, and people will tell us that they've been using pain medication but they somehow cannot get control of their pain effectively, or their pain medication takes away the pain but leaves them with a host of side effects that really make them feel so ill. I want to share a few tips with you on how you can manage pain with methods that ultimately actually reduce the necessity for the pain medications. Let me first quickly answer this question. Why are the pain medications a problem? Are they really that bad? Well, the reality is that most pain medications are not only chemical toxins that increase the toxicity levels in your bloodstream, but many pain medications also actually work directly in counteraction to your body's natural attempts to healing injuries. Inflammation and short-term inflammation is a good thing. Your body has to increase blood circulation to an injury. It needs to send more blood. That will ultimately result in a little bit of swelling and some redness. It's going to send it'll send immune cells and various other chemical factors to the site of injury to help to clear up the damaged cells, remove the debris and the cell debris, remove the toxins, and continue delivering fresh nutrients and oxygen. But in order to do that, the blood circulation to that injury has to be really, really good. And many pain medications actually come into that chemical process and block it at some point, thereby interfering with what the body is trying to do when it's healing an injury. Medications that work against fever, for instance, work in a similar way. The body pushes up fever because for every single minute that you have an elevated body temperature, your bone marrow is producing higher quantities and bigger volumes of white blood cells, which are your immune cells, the little soldiers that go in and fight against infections and disease processes. And your fever will actually enhance the quantity of white blood cells released into the bloodstream. Anti-fever medication will interfere with that process and reduce the effectiveness through which your body can bump up the immune response. Now, let's get back to pain. Pain is extremely frustrating, and most people will testify to the fact that pain drives them insane. It actually prevents them from thinking clearly. So we do want to do things that help to manage pain and reduce pain, but we don't want to interfere with the body's natural healing mechanisms. That really just defeats the purpose altogether. So let's look at some of the hints and practical things that we can apply. One of the key factors for helping the body heal an injury in a way that also reduces pain is by improving blood circulation through an injured area and not just interfering with the blood circulation going to that area. So when you have a lot of blood flowing to the site of injury, that can result in swelling, but it can also result in congestion, and that is what we want to try and clear up for various reasons. One of the problems with applying ice packs, for instance, is that when you apply the ice pack, you're basically constricting the blood vessels to the point that there's no blood circulation to that injury. And temporarily it will reduce the pain because it reduces the swelling, but it doesn't really help the wound or injury heal. Now, when I say injury, I'm using it as a generic term, but I'm referring to anything from cuts, scrapes, bruises, broken bones, surgical injuries, in other words, healing from surgery, as well as things like bee stings, snake bites, insect bites, etc. So we'll use injury for ease of terminology. When you're trying to heal that injury and manage the pain, you want to get great blood circulation through that area. Why do you want to do that? Because blood, the life is in the blood. That's what the Bible says. That couldn't be more true. The blood is the delivery system for oxygen and nutrients and immune cells to the site of injury, which are all going to play a role in healing that injury, to heal those damaged cells and remove the cell debris. So the blood circulation basically has to deliver those elements to the site of injury, but then the broken cells and damaged cells and toxins released in the process, those things have to be removed away from the site of injury. So you need the blood not just to flow into that site and get congested there. You need the blood circulation to flow effectively through that site of injury. Let's look at some effective ways that you can actually enhance the blood circulation through an injury. Number one, you can use contrast hydrotherapy. Contrast hydrotherapy is the process by which you expose the site of injury to contrasting temperatures, really hot to really cold, really hot to really cold. And of course, I do not want to encourage you to burn yourself, so I'm not suggesting boiling hot water, but using alternating exposure to hot water, cold water, hot water, cold water. Those extreme temperatures used in alteration or used in alternative fashion will ultimately trigger enhanced blood circulation. Every time you put that painful wrist or painful hand in really warm water, it triggers a good boost in blood circulation. When you switch it over to the ice water, a fresh boost is given to the blood circulation, and so on. And when you do that, the blood flows through that injury, delivering fresh supplies of oxygen and nutrients and removing debris. Again, delivering fresh supplies of oxygen and nutrients and immune cells and removing the debris. And you want to continue enhancing that process. If you want more details on contrast hydrotherapy and how you can use it, you can look at the video that we'll link in the description box, because we have made another video where we've used it on my little girl and we explain a little bit more about the details of that. You don't only have to use contrast hydrotherapy on the site of injury, you can also use it for the whole body, like with contrast showers. And the benefit of that is that you will not only enhance the blood circulation throughout your body, but you will also trigger very heightened responses of the immune cells. It stimulates the bone marrow to release higher volumes of immune cells into the bloodstream, which is excellent for boosting both your immune response, but also the healing capacity of the immune system itself. The next thing that you can also do is using healing poultices. Now, poultices is a term that we also use loosely, but compresses will deliver something into the skin and poultices will draw something out. Certain drawing poultices include things like charcoal, grated potato, grated ginger, cabbage leaves. There are various others that you can also use. Charcoal is particularly effective because it draws toxins as well as microbes. So if it's an infected site like a boil or an abscess, charcoal will also effectively draw those microbes out of the wound. It draws toxins out of the wound, and it has an irreversible bond, or it forms an irreversible bond with those toxins, which means that those toxins are not released and absorbed back into the bloodstream or into the skin. So charcoal is your go-to. If you don't have a lot of knowledge about the various herbs and healing poultices and you don't know what all of them do and you're unsure, charcoal will always be a safe go-to option. Second to that, grated potato and grated ginger are also very good options. Grating a little heap of potato onto your poultice pack and folding that into a little burrito and applying that to a wound is a quick and easy way in which you can help to draw inflammation and reduce swelling of a wound or injury site. And potato is also called the gentle potato because it is safe to use on sensitive areas, sensitive skin. You can use it on your eyes and other sensitive areas of mucous membranes, and it will not irritate, it will not burn, and it will effectively help to reduce swelling and inflammation. Grated potato will also help to draw toxins out because it is a powerful drawer. So we've also effectively used it on boils and abscesses, and it is very powerful to help to draw those infective substances out of wounds and skin tissue. So charcoal, potato, grated ginger. Grated ginger is excellent to help to reduce inflammation and pain for deep-seated pain, helps particularly for bone pain. You can use it for arthritis sites and swollen joints as well. And then in addition to that, you can also use other things like cabbage leaves for inflammation. You can use comfrey. Comfrey, I should add a note on. Comfrey is absolutely brilliant because it is a cell proliferator, which is just a fancy word of explaining, or fancy term for a substance that will trigger the faster production of new cells. So when you apply comfrey, for instance, to an area where the skin has been damaged, it will trigger new skin cells to develop a little bit faster. It is also called the bone doctor because it has an effect on deep-seated tissue, and it hastens the healing processes of mending bone as well. These are a few options, but there are many more healing herbs that you can use in the form of poultices. Things like turmeric, for instance, can be applied as an anti-inflammatory and pain management poultice, and you can also obviously use that internally. In addition to hydrotherapy and poultices, I would want to strongly recommend that you consider adding a little bit of extra exercise into your daily routine. Injuries cannot heal without exercise. Exercise stimulates new cells to be formed, and in particular when you're healing from an injury to bone, for instance, exercise is absolutely crucial to stimulate new bone cells to be laid down. Exercise is also the main trigger. For instance, when you're walking, that sense of impact is absolutely crucial for triggering the process whereby new bone cells are actually hardened into strong calcified hard bone. So exercise is important to bring into the picture as well. And of course you want to maintain a balance between exercise and rest, and you want to make sure that you're resting well enough at nighttime. Now this is another question that we often get related to pain, because pain will prevent people from sleeping well, and obviously when they're sleep deprived, nothing else works properly. How can you improve your sleep when you're having trouble with an injury that is constantly painful? Well, I want to emphasize that what you're doing during the day is going to impact what happens during the night. If you have done a poor job at managing your pain during the day, you haven't used the hydrotherapy, you haven't used the poultices, then you're probably going to struggle with more pain during the nighttime, because as soon as it gets quiet and you don't have other things distracting you, you're more aware of pain as well. So pain, or the sensation of pain, is often worse at nighttime. So make sure that you're managing your pain well during the day. Then utilize things at nighttime, like that hour before bedtime. Make sure that you use a good amount of time to do a contrast hydrotherapy session well before bedtime. Apply a healing poultice. You can also use anti-inflammatory gels and ointments such as arnica. It's also very effective for certain pains or for certain injuries. Obviously you cannot apply arnica over open wounds in the gel form. That alcohol will burn you to the point where you swear at me. So please do not try and apply that. But arnica can be very helpful for closed injuries such as strains and sprains and deep-seated pain as well. So manage that pain in that hour before bedtime. Do your contrast hydro, apply your gel or your ointment, apply a poultice, a healing poultice, and then you can also use some of the herbs that help to improve sleep. Things like hops, chamomile, lemon balm, peppermint, valerian, passion flower. There are a number of others. These are healing herbs that work in conjunction with the body's natural sleep mechanisms. They don't interfere with it, they don't have an addictive nature, they will not leave you groggy the next morning, and they really don't have any side effects that I know about. So you can safely use these even on a long-term basis, and they will help and improve your sleep. Use them in conjunction with the other things as well. When you want to use these herbs at nighttime, some people will complain that if they make a big pot of tea and they drink a lot of tea before bedtime, that will in itself cause them to have a restless night. So you can also find some of these herbs in capsule form, and you can find them in tincture form as well, which are concentrated options that you can use as an alternative to teas where you're taking in a lot of liquids. However, make sure that during the daytime you do have those extra liquids and stay well hydrated, because to boost the blood circulation through an injured area, you have to be well hydrated for that to be effective. In addition to contrast hydrotherapy, using the poultices, using the herbs to sleep better at night, one of the other tips I want to share with you for nighttime pain management is to make extra poultices. Make some extra poultices, keep them handy, keep them next to your bed, so that if you wake up in the middle of the night, you have a poultice ready that you can swap out quickly without having to get up and go to the kitchen and make a fresh poultice. Some poultices are great, like comfrey poultices and charcoal poultices, for instance, are excellent to make in advance. You can make a whole lot of them and freeze them, and then they're ready to take out. And they're actually really nice when you have done a contrast hydrotherapy session. You make sure that you do your hydrotherapy, you end off with cold. Make sure that you watch our hydrotherapy video for the details on that, but end off with the cold. And then apply the ice cold, frozen poultice to that area immediately. And as your body warms up that poultice, it will also obviously thaw the poultice, and there are many soothing elements to that in itself. And in that way you can have a number of pre-made poultices on hand and easy to access and use whenever you need to apply them. These are some of the practical tips, but, and here comes a big but, your remedies such as herbs and poultices and hydrotherapy will not be effective if you are not supporting your body in terms of making sure that there is pure blood circulating throughout your system. These herbs and the contrast hydrotherapy is aimed at improving your blood circulation and delivering the right ingredients to the sites of injury so that your body can supply the nutrients and the oxygen to heal those injuries. If you have impure blood filled with toxins, without the necessary nutrients, with low levels of oxygen, with low levels of water, and a state of dehydration, then delivering that extra blood to those sites of injury will not have the same effectiveness. So you need to make sure that your blood is pure. And the best way to do that is to follow the New Start principles. If you're not yet familiar with the New Start acronym for Principles of Healthy Living, please make sure that you go onto our website and have a read there. We have a lot of information on the website about this, and you can also contact us for more information if there are things that you don't quite understand. But the New Start elements in their totality is like a recipe. You have to apply all of them to get the best results. In addition to New Start, I want to make two very small but very important points. When it comes to managing the toxicity levels in your bloodstream, this is key to managing your injury and managing your pain. When there are high levels of toxins floating around throughout your blood circulation, your nerves get irritated by that, and they actually become irritable, and they have a heightened sense of pain. We see this in various other diseases, in neuropathic pain, in diabetic patients. Across the board, high toxicity levels increase pain sensations. So when you have an injury and you've, for instance, had a number of days, you're expecting this injury to have started recovering already, or you're a couple of weeks down the line from surgery and your pain is still not quite under control, you should ask yourself why. And one of the possibilities in the background could be that your body is struggling with high levels of toxicity that it's not managing to clear. Now, there are two elements involved in this. When it comes to toxins in your bloodstream, it is a balance between how many toxins are coming into the system and how fast your body is able to clear it out. You can manage your toxic levels by reducing how many toxins you put into the system. Following an anti-inflammatory clean diet where you're staying away from harmful substances, cutting out processed foods, food additives, preservatives, high sugar, high processed oils, all of those things are highly toxic to the system, and they continuously add to the toxic levels in the bloodstream if that is what your diet typically looks like. By following an anti-inflammatory diet and cleaning up what you're exposing your body to, you can help to drop those toxic levels. You can also reduce the toxic levels by making sure that you are staying away from harmful chemical substances, using non-toxic skincare products, hair care products, cleaning products, etc. Exposing yourself to fresh air on a regular basis where you can get rid of toxins through what you exhale and breathe fresh oxygen in. This is also absolutely key to managing that toxic in, toxic out balance. In addition to that, you want to support your detoxing organs. These organs do a tremendous job at helping to clean up and clear up toxic substances that we ourselves put into our bodies. And these organs work relentlessly to try and keep up. But sometimes what we put in is way more than what they can actually clear out. Support these organs by what you put in, and make sure that you put non-toxic substances into your body. But you can also support these detoxing organs by enhancing the way that they function. You can help your kidneys by staying hydrated and by making sure that you're using as few as possible renotoxic substances. Pain medications are known to be some of the most toxic substances to our kidneys. So reducing how much pain medication you're using, and for that matter, trying to reduce how much medication you use altogether, is one of the best ways to be kind to your kidneys and enable them to keep up with detoxifying your blood. In addition to that, you can focus on your liver. You can help your liver by staying away from alcohol, staying away from processed fats and lots of fatty foods. You can help your liver by cutting out caffeine and by cutting out other harmful food substances, which we list a little bit more about on our website. In addition to that, you can help your liver and enhance its activity by using some of the healing herbs that particularly target and improve the liver's detoxing abilities. Examples of this include things like dandelion and milk thistle, but there are various others that you could also use. You can greatly improve your body's detoxing abilities by doing regular exercise. Your skin is one of the biggest, it is the biggest organ in your body, and it's also one of the most prominent detoxing organs. You excrete a tremendous amount of toxins through sweating, so doing regular exercise that actually gets you to the point of sweating is an excellent way to help to reduce toxic levels in your blood. And people who do regular exercise to the point of sweating and getting tired often find a significant reduction in chronic pain levels. Now, the last thing that we mentioned is your glandular system, and all of these things we've mentioned so far will also help your glands and the lymphatic system to improve its effectiveness in clearing out toxins. If you have any questions about what I have just shared, about the poultices or the herbs or the anti-inflammatory diet or helping to detoxify your system or any of it, please do feel free to let us know. I'm going to add our website details as well as our contact details in the description box for this video, and you can contact us at any point if you have any questions or queries about what we've shared.